Is World of Warcraft set for a hostile takeover? As you guys know, Blizzard acquired King, the company that makes Candy Crush, quite a while ago. 2015. I think the actual deal got finalized in 2016, but no matter, it's been a while. But now we got reports of several King employees. They changed their LinkedIn profile to project manager, lead designer, and other stuff like that. And get this, they are listed as working for Blizzard now. So it would seem that King is slowly taking over many Blizzard projects we have not heard about yet. And I know that's the company that makes freaking Candy Crush. How could something good come out of this? Actually, it could. Let me show you why I think this is not entire doom and gloom, and there's actually a really good, in good faith reason why King employees would get promoted at Blizzard. Microsoft and Activision have formed a new team within Blizzard to work on a smaller game based on an existing IP, multiple games as a matter of fact. Over the past few weeks, many King employees had switched their LinkedIn profile from King to Blizzard. That's what I just said. We can reveal that Microsoft and Activision have formed a new smaller team within Blizzard comprised of King and various other employees to work on smaller titles based on existing Blizzard franchises like Overwatch, like Warcraft, like StarCraft, and beyond. And this is an important one right there. Microsoft is keen to leverage its huge back catalog of franchises with its Activision Blizzard purchase on the previous years. And you gotta keep in mind, guys, this is part of an overarching bigger strategy. Microsoft owns a lot of things now. It's not just Blizzard intellectual property that they are working with. One of those rumors is that Warner Brothers is planning to sell their games division to Microsoft, and that would include, for example, Multiversus, the fighting game. That would include the Lego franchise. I think they still hold the rights to the Lego franchise. Of course, DC Comics, also owned by Warner Brothers, Batman, Flash, all those the lamer superheroes that nobody cares about, they are still in that thing. Somebody cares about them. Like, it would sell. The Batman old games were actually really good. But anyway, it would seem like Microsoft is planning a bigger strategy here of acquiring a company that makes games and giving them new intellectual properties and taking advantage of the properties that they already have. Now the question is, why is it a phone company, a phone game company getting in charge of those new projects that we're probably gonna hear very soon about? Because, for example, Blizzard tried to make a Warcraft phone game, and by every metric it was a colossal failure. This is a video from Old Guardian, really good channel here, where he made a study on the success or lack thereof of the Warcraft Rumble game, and here's basically what he had to say about it.
On the bright side, Rumble does seem to have reached the bottom. The numbers haven't gone down anymore during the entire February. They are now at this level. So yeah.
He plays the game, you cannot be too mad at him, he's trying his best, but you can see the numbers he provided. I'm gonna link him in the description, by the way. This is a really good deep dive into the numbers, but essentially the game, after 4 months, it was getting only $2 million in revenue, which might sound really good to you. It's actually very little. For a phone game of a major franchise, $2 million in revenue is a huge commercial failure. There was a lot of problems with the game kept crashing all the time, the monetization was not well received. Usually it takes quite a little bit of engineering to get people to spend money. Apparently that wasn't done very well because people got instantly mad. I am not the guy to talk about those issues, Old Guardian is, but yeah, pretty much Warcraft Rumble was a big commercial failure. So it makes you wonder, does Blizzard really wanna keep throwing shots at making new spin-offs? Well, yes, then again, Diablo Immortal made a fortune for Blizzard. People love complaining about it, people love hating about it. It doesn't really matter if 1,000 people hate the game. All that it takes for those kind of games is 2 people to be enough of a sucker to get addicted to it and spend like $2,000 each on the game, and they make their money back. And Diablo Immortal made plenty of its money back, especially in China, which is something that Warcraft Rumble could never achieve. Warcraft Rumble was not successful in China either, and I assure you that Diablo Immortal made in a single year more money than the entire StarCraft franchise combined. I mean, take on that, StarCraft people. Age of Empires 2 for life, brother. Oh right, Age of Empires 2, yeah, Microsoft also owns that game. Microsoft is calling the shots now, and unlike Blizzard, Microsoft is very successful at running RTSs. Yes, they are smaller titles, you're never gonna see Age of Empires 2 being a massive sensation, but they have a very sustainable esports community, they have a very huge prize pools, and they are still one of the most popular games on Twitch. And now there is all this Microsoft technology that made that game. They also made Age of Mythology, for example. The engine is already coded, the game mechanics are already coded, and Age of Mythology is not even that different from Warcraft 3 in its core mechanics. It's not very hard. I can totally see them repurposing Age of Mythology and turning it into Warcraft 4. Now, does Microsoft think that's actually a good idea? Is Microsoft willing to cannibalize on the Age of Mythology market, for example, to make Warcraft 4? I am not saying I am sure that Microsoft is working on Warcraft 4. I am not saying they even want to cannibalize on their Age of Empires 2 audience, because that's already a very successful game. Why would you mess with the money printer kind of deal? I get that. But I would not be entirely surprised if these King employees are actually working on Warcraft 4 or some sort of iteration of Warcraft, perhaps even StarCraft, who knows? Because remember, an RTS nowadays is really cheap to make. It doesn't take that much, especially if you make it like in a low graphics quality, something similar to the original Warcraft that is very cartoony, low polygon style. Bang for your buck, it probably takes very little money to make a game like that, especially if you already got an engine that you know it works and is free of bugs, and you got several patches worth of bug fixes applied to it already in Age of Mythology. Bobby Kotick and the old management hated the RTS division of Blizzard, and for good reason. They produce very little money. An RTS is never going to have the mass appeal that another game could. They are very technical, they are very hard to get into, and the people that are really into RTSs are very hesitant to learn into a new RTS. You saw that with Age of Empires 4 actually. The sequel to Age of Empires is the same freaking game but with more stuff, and most people didn't take it because learning a new game, not that the game was bad, learning a new game was too hard for them. They didn't want to do it. They felt that it was too much work. And Microsoft is going to look at those challenges and perhaps think that they are right, and Bobby Kotick had a good judgment in saying that RTSs are not the future of Blizzard. But on the other hand, Microsoft, against all odds, managed to fund a lot of the esports tournaments in Age of Empires 2. They even partnered with Red Bull to get them sponsored, and even though I do not have the numbers, I think they are capable of finding enough sponsors and funding to actually keep pushing the tournaments in Age of Empires 2. Their business model of trying to get people into Game Pass, using Age of Empires as a lead, does really work. So I do not think Warcraft 4 is out of the question anymore. Of course, the other option, the most likely option, is that they are making phone games. And they are definitely making phone games. And they are definitely the kings, haha, get it, of making phone games. I mean, these people are the reason that your mom is not allowed to have an extension of the credit card anymore. Candy Crush has single-handedly bankrupted thousands of white suburban families in North America. And they are coming for you. I got no idea how they get them. I swear to God, I still do not understand that game. I guess it kinda looks like a slot machine. Is that why? But anyway, gloom and doom aside, I think it is possible that this is actually in good faith, and there is a very reasonable explanation as to why the head honchos at Microsoft wanted King to take over Blizzard, more specifically the development part of Blizzard, and it goes to Blizzard's all-time tradition of rug pulling the customers. How many times has Blizzard promised to give you something, taken your money, only to you find out like 2 years later that
and it's gone?
Warlords of Draenor, Overwatch 2 PvE, that cancelled survival game. The truth of the matter is that Blizzard didn't intend to actually rug pull you at first. It just kinda worked out that you're the last person in the chain, and if they are gonna screw somebody, it's gonna be you. They intended to make the actual game. The thing is that Bobby hates throwing good money after bad. Blizzard has an endemic problem almost since the start of fully funding a project, giving it even more time than it actually needs to be made, waiting a couple years, and poof, The game is not finished, the money is all gone, and now they gotta face the public. It's like government construction projects, but with shareholder money instead of your money. Well, actually, it's kinda your money too. So anyway, Blizzard is an ungodly mismanaged company. They only stay afloat because they have some of the most beloved franchises of all time, and they can get away with scamming you over and over and over again, just like Star Wars. I think that Microsoft is trying to restructure the company. I mean, I know they are doing it. It's a standard procedure after taking over a company that you are gonna restructure it and make it fit your grand scheme of things. You can imagine that a company like Microsoft, before buying Blizzard, they spent several years researching what Blizzard does, how it works, looking at their weaknesses, their strengths, and actually looking at how can we make Blizzard serve us. And that means that they already have a plan in place for what they want to do with the company. And a couple of weeks ago, I had a conversation with Ebonheart that actually changed my entire mind on the King situation, and I can totally see it. King might make crappy phone games for your mom, and I am not thrilled about one of the most evil phone game companies in the world trying to take over Blizzard, but the thing is that when you give King a budget, a project, a time constraint, they always consistently get it made. And despite its many flaws, despite its many problems, that is something that Blizzard cannot say. Do you ever wonder why some movie directors that haven't had a hit in decades somehow still keep getting work at somewhere like Netflix? The truth of the matter is that that director proved that he can make something. Of course, Netflix would prefer that it didn't suck, but their main priority against everything else is that whatever budget they put into a movie, it doesn't get spent into Alex Afrasiabi's room service and blow. It happens a lot more often than you would think, both in movies and video games. So this could be Microsoft trying to introduce some sensible adult supervision into their game production. And you know what? If that's the case, about them time. I would love to see something like a StarCraft shooter, kinda like Quake. I love Quake. I would love to see a Warcraft RPG, but let's not get too high on copium yet. It is also very likely and possible that we're just gonna get a Flappy Bird but with a WoW skin, and you gotta pay $90 to get a custom skin on that game. I mean, come on. We know the people that we're dealing with here. Let's not make any illusions. By the way, we are also live on Twitch, and all the kinds of streaming that do not fit my channel, or the after shows of a dedicated stream for a podcast, for example, or a discussion, those are gonna be on Twitch from now on. The YouTube stream is gonna cut off, and it's gonna continue on Twitch. Nothing personal, YouTube, is just that the algorithm hates when I make a long stream here. So I am gonna drop my Twitch channel in the comments, and please leave me a follow, subscribe, join the Discord, and thank you for watching.